Oh, this looks like a good spot to read. All right. Just do a little casual reading during my Scotland hike. Ah, yes. Perfect place to read about hunting dinosaurs. One of the oldest... Hey, don't judge.
West Coast Davengers. West Coast Davengers. Ah! Ah!
Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the West Coast Avengers. I'm your host, Dave. Last week, I brought you the first episode of Scotland. Scotland. It's actually the first episode ever about Scotland, anywhere on the internet. I got the David 19. I brought that back with a bunch of comics. You know, you take the good with the bad. I'm here to talk to you about comics, not SARS viruses. First things first, got a new podcast with my buddy Manu, the 9.9 Newsstand. It's called It Came from the Newsstand. It's available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, iHeartRadio, places where you get your podcasts. And every Wednesday is West Coast Wednesday. Alright, getting on the other side of the car. I still don't understand it. It's still confusing. Instincts will kick in and I'll be able to drive. I hope. So my second part of my Scotland trip included going up north and staying in a few places that I'd never been to before, like St. Andrews area and Cullen. There were comic stores along the way, and I kind of made this trip work for both, for vacation purposes and for hunting comics. This is where I'm staying tonight. Stravathi Castle, Strathvathy. I can't say the name, but it's beautiful. Hi. These doors go to nowhere. They are locked. One of the coolest things about staying in Scotland is that there's castles everywhere, and a lot of them get turned into B&Bs, so you can stay in castles in Scotland. That's another wee room. So the first shop that I went to outside of Edinburgh was a shop called Little Shop of Heroes in a small town. And I did not know what to expect. I will say this, it is very hard to park in that town if you do not have cash or you don't have one of the parking apps in the UK. So if you are visiting there, just make sure you have a little bit of change so you can pay to park. I did not know what to expect from this shop, and it was such a cute shop. A bunch of different things that stand out about it. There was a lot of boxes to dig for, I think the books were £1 each. They had graphic novels. They had a little bit of everything. I talked to the owners, and the owners were really sweet. They told me that they had just found out that they were finalists for the Will Eisner Retail Spirit Award at San Diego Comic-Con. And they weren't sure if they were going to be able to make it at San Diego Comic-Con. And then I just saw them post yesterday that they were there, which is fantastic. They told me also that they just get collections donated to them, and they have 10,000 back issues to go through and sort through. It's a fantastic shop, so check it out. Little Shop of Heroes.
Hi there.
Hello.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, I don't think they'll have the ceremony, unfortunately. Sadly, that is a very... Cheers, Barney. Cheers, Colin.
Thanks.
For a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you,
Maybe you'll get to San
I was
Diego.
in the chemist this morning, and there was some local radio station does a giveaway of money on a Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, right, we'll be phoning in for that.
You've got to try everything now.
Absolutely. Right.
Right,
Cheers.
thanks for doing our
Cheers, Colin.
Oh, yeah, very
Thank you. Bye.
I truly didn't know what to expect from a store with boxes like this, but I figured I'd take a flip through everything and see what I could find. Once again, another Another store that didn't have the first appearance of Phantom X, but did have the first cover appearance of Phantom X. But I had already picked up a grip of those in Edinburgh. But I just enjoy flipping through boxes. I didn't think I was going to find anything, but then I hit a Marvel Boy #1, which is a key that kind of got deflated. But it's one of those books written by Grant Morrison that at any time they could adapt. So it's good to have some of those on hand. Plus, I just wanted to buy something from the store, which I ended up buying a graphic novel afterwards. And I had a great conversation with both Albie and Lou, who are the owners, in just a few moments. So keep watching.
No, we won't do that. We've got things. Yeah, so is it. Oh, that's really cool. No, that's really cool. Yeah. No, I can't see it. No, everyone that comes in here is interested in the thing.
Right,
So
right. Whether
why
they
would
know.
they be annoyed? Why would
Yeah.
they be angry? They love the thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of old guard stores in the States. You know, people that have owned stores for 30 years. It's just, they're miserable. Yeah. And I don't know how long you guys have owned the shop, but
10 years.
10 years. So that's
years.
new. Right. So that's more of the, you know, like, we're probably around the same age. That's our new generation.
Yeah.
Where, like, I just feel like you go into a lot of shops. Like, I was in the Notting Hill Book Exchange. The guy didn't want to talk to me at all. I was like, do you have this or this? Do you have any of this? It's just like, I'm like, I came in here with one purpose: to give you money to buy comics.
Yeah.
It should be a pleasant experience.
Yeah, well, that's it.
When we opened,
It was just you to start with, because
it was initially. I didn't want to. I wanted. Look, Dunfermline has never had a comic store,
Right.
and so as a result of that, most people in Dunfermline would never have been in a comic store.
It's their first experience
I
with
didn't
one.
want their experience of coming into a comic store to be my experience of the first time I went into a comic store, which was dark and smelly and a little bit moldy smelling,
Grumpy.
and a grumpy guy behind the counter who wasn't interested in them at all.
Yeah.
Was interested in comics, but not people. I wanted children to come in and girls to come in and women to come in and to feel like this was a place where it wasn't unnatural for them to be here.
Totally.
And hopefully, Touchwood, more comic stores are like that now
think,
than have
yeah.
ever
Yeah,
been.
we're getting that way.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, we have families that come in the children's area just around there, and like they sit on the floor, and kids are just saying, look, just get the books out, have a look, you know, see what you like, and it just evolves over the years. It's just
So it's fabulous.
changed.
We're very fortunate, but
It's very inviting.
And,
But it's a comic store should be a comic store should be a place of joy.
Of course. Of course.
If you don't want, I'm very much of the mind that if you don't like people, don't get into retail.
yeah.
So true. I mean,
Please do
We do
something
have a
else.
coffee pot on back there if anybody wants a coffee. We do provide free coffee if you want
see,
a coffee.
that's great. See?
Because later on today there'll probably be 3 or 4 people here with their
You are
their
welcome to
mugs,
a
and
coffee if you
would
want one.
like to stay here and have a coffee, you're welcome.
The only thing I bought actually at Little Shop of Heroes was a copy of Murder Falcon. And Murder Falcon is the Daniel Warren Johnson book that I had not read at the time of purchasing it, but I really loved his Doer Powerbomb, and so I read Murder Falcon on the plane, and I loved it. It was silly. It was absolutely ridiculous, but it was a fun comic book read. But I did get to talk to him for a while, and it's a shop that I definitely will go back to, and I'll keep in touch with them. I took a little hike to take a break to Danino Den, which is a pre-Christian pagan worshipping site that dates back hundreds and hundreds of years. It does have a wishing rock, as well as the possible sighting of some fairies. Now, while I didn't find any fairies while I was there, I did find the grumpiest man in all of Scotland. He's a little quiet, though. Who is he? You're going to see me going to Asylum Books and Games in Aberdeen. That shop's kind of legendary. I didn't realize, a lot of people told me about it. So that you'll see a video of, and you'll see what I got after.
How you doing?
Not too bad, how's yourself?
Doing good.
Can I help at all?
I'm just passing through and going to comic book stores, and heard your store was a lot of fun.
No, if you can help, give us a yell.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
The back issues you're after.
Yeah. Yeah.
150,000 downstairs.
Oh. Yeah. Am I able to look through stuff then?
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh. But here is, I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I guess I'll start with Amazing Spider-Man. See how far back it goes. Some Spider-Gwen, Spider-Girl, Spider-Man 2099. It's a lot of modern. I'd love to take a look at the Spawn stuff.
What's it? You looking through me?
Sure. Yeah, give me one.
There's something to be said about Scottish comic book stores and basements full of comics, because this basement had tens to hundreds of thousands of comics. They were in order, but nothing had boards, so you can imagine what time does to comic books sitting in boxes without boards. And a lot of things that I would have bought were overpriced, and based on condition, it just wasn't worth it. One of the other problems about the logistics of this basement, some of these boxes were located on shelves that were 4.5 to 6 feet off the ground, so you had to lean the boxes forward while balancing them so that they don't fall and kill you. And so it's just a lot harder to look through books that way, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm buying a Turok. This is reprints of City of War.
What Andy Hepworth here?
Who's that?
Andy Hepworth?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with.
And then after that, I didn't see any comic shops until I got to Glasgow, because the Scottish countryside does not have a lot of people, let alone a lot of places to buy things like comics. Skye is the most beautiful place on earth, and it's one of the islands. I've been to like 4 of the islands in my times in Scotland, and Skye is my favorite, but there's a lot more to explore out there. Asylum Books and Games was kind of a dud for comics. Like, the downstairs was insane. There was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of books. The books weren't taken care of. A lot of them were damaged, and the prices were, my guess, were mostly pandemic prices. Everything was priced a little too high for me to want to even think about it. And even if it wasn't priced high, I would look at the book and it would just be like spine ticks galore. I came back upstairs and I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, I've got a lot of original art for sale." And it's kind of funny. I had asked him, and I don't think I have it on video, I'd asked him why he thought to suggest original art to me, and he's like, "You look like a collector." And he was right. I ended up buying 3 pieces. This is I think it's Andy Lanning is the inker, but this is Death's Head 12, page 12. And the pencils are Salvador LaRocca pencils. And I'm pretty sure it's Andy Lanning is the inks. It's got Death's Head on one of the panels. And I was just like, you know what? This is pretty cool. This is very 90s. I'm going to buy it. But the 2 awesome pieces I picked up were these Declan Shalvey pieces. And Declan Shalvey did books with Warren Ellis. He's done Marvel, one of the bigger artists in the last 10 to 15 years in comics. And I got a Punisher piece, which is penciled and inked by him. There's even a little pencil sketch on the back, and it's signed. It's from 2006. And then this, I absolutely love. This is from 2011. This is Declan doing Beta Ray Bill. I think what I'll do is I'm going to sell the Punisher, and I'm going to keep the Beta Ray Bill. There was a ton of art to look through there. It wasn't too much stuff that I was interested in, with the exception of the Declan pieces I was really interested in. I've read some of his books, and I've also met him, and he's super nice. That was a cool opportunity. So if you're looking for original art and you want to see some cool stuff, check out Asylum Books and Games in Aberdeen. So what you're seeing here is not just any body of water. This is the famous Loch Ness. Home to Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. I figured I'd stop. It was a beautifully gray day and take a look. I didn't see her, but there is a rumor out there that another comic influencer that you might know of has spotted her. And we'll get to that footage one day soon. So as I made my way around the country, I figured the last comic stores I was going to go to was going to be in Glasgow, which is true. I enjoy Scotland so much. It's such a beautiful country. And I'm going to be talking about it a lot on the podcast coming up with Manu. If you ever get a chance and you really enjoy beautiful landscapes, great people, you're not going to get like tropical weather. If tropical weather is your thing, don't go to Scotland. But if you're like me, you enjoy places like the Northwest in the United States or, old history, check out Scotland. Go there. Have fun. Overall, if you've watched all 4 of these episodes, then you know that I had a lot of fun, and these shops I recommend you go to if you're going to be in either of the countries. There were some in London, like I said, outside of London I couldn't get to. There was Plan 9 in Aberdeen that I didn't get to because I was at Asylum for so long. But who knows when I'm going to go back. I've been there almost like every 3 to 4 years. I was there 2012, 2016, 2019, and 2023. So I absolutely love Scotland. I would like to move there one day, and who knows, maybe I'll open a comic shop in Edinburgh. We'll see what the future holds. But I hope you enjoyed these. Please share these episodes. You know what to do.
Aye, laddie. Like and subscribe, why don't ya?
See you next week on the... I got the Covey. Covey Bryant. Covey Bryant. How long will I slide? Separate my side. I know.